There are plenty of people who would take a dip in rainbows if they could, even if that feels like something that can only happen in dreams. But what if I were to tell you there is a place in Wyoming where the rainbows come to the ground? Located in Yellowstone National Park in the northwest of Wyoming, there's a spring which does just that, like something straight out of a fairy tale. It begs the questions, how would you feel if you were to swim in rainbows? Better yet, how is that even possible in the first place? Stick around to the end of the video because we're going to tell you all about it. Not to be confused with the Rainbow Springs in Colorado, the Rainbow Spring Yellowstone, known more formally as the Grand Prismatic Spring, proves that the grand design of the universe can put any artist to shame. The spring is the largest hot spring in the United States and the third largest hot spring in the world. At 370 feet in diameter and 160 feet in the center, it's more like a football field on steroids. But not only is it massive, but its iconic image of a kaleidoscope of rainbow colors, which inspires awe in any onlooker, makes it absolutely otherworldly. The changing colors are the result of a very specific combination of circumstances that can only occur in this area. From the blood red rim to the deep royal blue have dazzled people when it was first discovered in the 19th century. With some describing it, it is worth the journey of continents. Now, you won't have to cross continents to reach it, and definitely not on foot as they did back then, but you'll still have to do a little bit of driving and hiking. The spring sits in the Midwest Geyser Basin in Yellowstone, a short distance away from Old Faithful area and the west side of Grand Loop Road. Or you could just drive about 25 miles from West Entrance Road into Midway Geyser parking. A pro tip is to remember that the spring is crazy popular and busy. Arriving in the middle of the day pretty much guarantees you'll be spending at least an hour in traffic. So come early as you can, because the parking lot doesn't have as nearly amount of space to accommodate the hordes of people that come to visit the spring every day. If you want to avoid the crowds, and who are also clamoring to see this mystery, you'll have to wake up early. Of course, you may not want to do that on your vacation of all things, but it beats dealing with traffic, right? So about 8 a.m. should be fine. But keep in mind that there's a very high chance of mist obstructing your view at the time. So wait until the sun comes up just a little more, and the spring will light up of vivid colors and providing a breathtaking view of the best that nature has to offer. And you'll find that it was well worth it. There's a boardwalk around the spring that provides a good look at all the colors. The best part, this makes it completely wheelchair accessible, so you don't have to worry about the site being inaccessible. But if you really want to see it in all its glory, you have to go a little further. Climb the ridge south of the spring and hike on the Fairy Falls Trail for a little under a mile to the Grand Prismatic Spring Lookout. It's a pretty easy hike, about 30 or 40 minutes, and the pictures you'll take will make everyone so crazy you'll light up the social media feed. This is the hot spot. If you're looking for a place to stay to see the sights early, West Yellowstone might be just your answer. Not only will it probably be cheaper, but you'll also save on gas because you're closer. Also, make sure to take the right shoes if you visit. The trail can get sloshy in the winter months or after a rain, and you don't want to be struggling because of a poor footwear choice. The best time to visit the spring, ironically, is in the summer, because it's then when the colors really come to life. But how did this rainbow phenomenon come about anyway? And why here of all places? Well, we're going to have to get a little technical for that, and the answer might come as a little bit of a shock. Hot springs are formed due to water being heated below the Earth's surface. Hot water starts to rise through the cracks, eventually making its way where the springs form. But once the boiling hot water has bubbled to the surface, it cools and tends to fall to the sides of the spring. This creates a constant cycle of heating and cooling, creating rings of very distinctive temperatures at different distances from the center. But that happens pretty much at every hot spring in the world. So what makes Grand Prismatic Spring special? Well, the answer is surprising. The colors actually come about due to bacteria of all things. The spring can reach temperatures just below 200 degrees. And if you think nothing can survive in that, you're almost correct. There's nothing at the center of the pool. And this lack of life is which gives the spring its breathtaking blue color. But as the water spreads out and cools slightly, the rings of different temperatures create very distinctive environments. And each of these become home to different type of heat-loving bacteria, known as thermophiles. The bacteria photosynthesize and create colored substances to help survive in harsh environments. In the yellow ring, for example, where the temperatures can reach up to 165 degrees, the bacteria produce a yellow pigment that helps protect them from harsh light reaching the spring. They're quite literally wearing sunscreen. So you may learn something from that. The orange and red rings, being at about 145 degrees and 131 degrees, provide environments that are slightly easier to live in. So the color and pigments that they produce change accordingly. These heat-loving bacteria each need a very specific temperature to survive. So the spring acts as a literal living thermometer. This scientific marvel has awed scientists for decades. In fact, these kind of bacteria have even helped to make the tests for the COVID-19 pandemic. But here's the answer to the question that everyone asks. Can you swim in it? Well, you probably already realized that the water is way too hot for that. The answer is absolutely no. It might seem tempting, but don't even consider it. Too close to the spring, it turns from something out of a fairy tale to the entrance to hell. Whatever you do, do not get off the boardwalk that surrounds it. What might seem like a pretty safe place to step might only be a thin layer of stone hiding hot boiling water underneath. Yellowstone National Park warned that the waters are as acidic as the liquid in your car battery and hot enough to blister your skin. The warnings may be intense, but they're there for the safety of people that visit. In the best case scenario, you'll get second-degree burns, so it's best to mind the boardwalk. Now, that might be a little disappointing, but don't worry. This isn't all Yellowstone has to offer. The Midway Geyser Basin may be a very small area, but it packs a big punch. You've already crossed the Firehole River if you decide to go to the overlook for the Grand Prismatic, but there's also Opal Pool, which is a geyser that erupts multiple times per year. The Excelsior Geyser is an enormous geyser crater and another must-see. There's also the Turquoise Pool, which is another absolute beautiful blue spring. If you see it, it will definitely be the highlight of your visit. Placed anywhere else, this canyon spring would be the main attraction. But here it gets overshadowed by the absolute surreality of the Grand Prismatic. But now if you really need a dip, you can always visit the Firehole Swim Area or Boiling Lake. Don't let the names fool you. It's a lot safer to swim here. And the best part, all you have to do is follow the boardwalk loop around Grand Prismatic, and it'll lead you right to them. Grand Prismatic Spring is the star attraction in the Midway Geyser Basin, and its kaleidoscope colors provide a one-in-a-lifetime sight that not everyone will experience. If you're ever in the area, make sure to check this place out. And hey, while not being able to swim in the water is a bummer, you'll be able to take Instagram-worthy pictures that will make all your friends wonder where you got them from. And so that might just be enough of a reason to go anyway.